Sometimes you have to ask, what happened to my favorite franchise?
We all make mistakes.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 video game franchises that have lost their mojo. Get it? Mojo. We're at WatchMojo.com. Never mind.
Shh, it's okay.
For this list, we looked at video game franchises that had a certain je ne sais quoi, only to have that special something fade over time, due to mediocre releases, oversaturation of the market, or just a curious absence of recent titles.
It's about time you showed up, Fox.
I know what some of you were thinking. Call of Duty, Mario, not here. While those franchises are long-lasting and have almost been milked out, the fact that they continue to review and sell well will keep them off of this list.
Power determines who's right. And I have the power. So I'm right.
Number 10, Prince of Persia.
His mistake, born of innocence, fueled by pride, was the greatest and most terrible of them all.
This franchise is best known for the Sands of Time trilogy from 2003, but these games broke ground back in 1989. Later releases after the Sands trilogy may have faltered, but not enough to kill the series. Still, for some reason, there hasn't been anything new since 2010, unless you count the iOS game from 2013. There is talk of a title for this generation of consoles, but with Assassin's Creed filling the parkour and historical fiction bracket at Ubisoft, is there any room in the market?
You cannot hope to win against him.
Number 9, Star Fox.
I'm fine. You okay over there, Fox?
It's been a while since Peppy Hare told us to do a barrel roll. Honestly, thanks to Smash Brothers, Fox McCloud as a character certainly hasn't lost his mojo, but his franchise is a different story.
This is horrible.
After Star Fox 64, the series seems to have lost its way, going from Zelda clone to mediocre third-person vehicular combat, and its newest installment being an interesting but repetitive tactical strategy game in 2006. Of course, not counting the 2011 remaster of 64.
I won't let you get away from me.
Thankfully, Nintendo has heard the cry for the Fox and his R-Wing, and has plans to bring him back for the Wii U.
今ゲームパッドとテレビを使った新しいゲームをいっぱい作ってます。
Number 8, Bomberman.
Rocket bomb!
Whatever happened to this franchise? Oh, right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and this unneeded fix spelled the beginning of the end. Before things got unnecessarily gritty and realistic, there seemed to be a successful game on every platform that the adorable bomber touched.
Speed up!
There was something truly addictive about the strategic gameplay, the colorful characters, and of course, blowing up your friends. But now, we have memories of something great, a cancelled 3DS title, and his most recent titles being low-key Candy Crush knockoffs. Sigh. Number 7, Crash Bandicoot.
Crash, I really am cross with you.
This blue jean shorts, tennis shoe wearing Bandicoot used to provide grand, platforming adventures, almost clawing his way to peerhood with Mario. He even took the wheel in some race kart shenanigans, and was the face of PlayStation. For a while, it seemed like Crash could do no wrong, until Naughty Dog stopped developing the games and Crash went multi-platform. 7 more developers later, and Crash has fully fizzled out. Maybe? Both Naughty Dog and Sony have expressed interest in Crash again, though Activision currently holds the rights to the series. Maybe they'll make Crash into a first-person shooter. Let's hope not.
Don't be ridiculous. You're stupid. Hold it.
Number 6, Medal of Honor. This was a critically acclaimed series that essentially gave birth to the World War II FPS, but it's lost its mojo several times, because despite several reboots, it crashes every time. Back in 2007, both Medal of Honor Airborne and Heroes 2 received mediocre reviews, prompting EA to put the franchise on hold. It tried to make a comeback in 2010 by taking a new modern-day approach, but the glitchy Medal of Honor Warfighter seems to have put the final nail in the coffin. Number 5, Resident Evil.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
This series wasn't the first in the horror game genre, but it certainly made it mainstream with its haunting environments, terrifying creatures, and unnerving feeling of danger around every corner. Once upon a time, the franchise managed to perfectly marry action with survival horror, but lately the general consensus has been that there's too much action and not enough horror. And, even at that, Resident Evil 6 wasn't exactly a good action game. Fans have definitely noticed, and long for the days when the games delivered more scares than bullets, but sadly, we're left with
Hold on! Bitch of a...
Number 4, Silent Hill.
James, honey, did something happen to you?
This fog-infested town used to haunt gamers with creepy monsters, desolate environments, and psychological madness. Then, much like Crash Bandicoot, the franchise got a new developer. Team Silent was disbanded by Konami after Silent Hill 4, The Room.
Hope my luck changes before the party.
Things haven't been the same ever since, but after the terrifying PT demo revealed Silent Hills, Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro may be reviving those restless dreams and restoring the franchise's creepy mojo. Number 3, Final Fantasy. Have you ever had something that you loved and hated all at the same time? That's an abridged version to this particular series. It's heartbreaking because it was once the go-to name for spectacular JRPGs. But it's hard to ignore the mixed reception of unlucky number 13, which got lukewarm reviews that highlighted linear gameplay, uninteresting characters, dull plot, and honestly, a trilogy that nobody asked for.
This is where it began. The beginning of the end.
Maybe Final Fantasy Versus 13, Final Fantasy 15 will renew the fire in the franchise. We've been waiting since 2006, so it has to be good, right?
Damn it! What kind of answer is that?
Number 2, Mega Man. He used to be fighting to save the world, but series co-creator Keiichi Inafune left Capcom in 2010, and 4 potential titles were cancelled.
I always thought you and X were so cool.
Then again, with the overabundance of Mega Man games released in the late 90s and early 2000s, it's not hard to see why it fizzled out. Still, the Blue Bomber has made his way into Smash Bros., and Inafune has gone on to produce a rather familiar-looking game for 2015. His legacy will probably live vicariously through Mighty No. 9, but as for his own future as a smartphone endless runner, oh dear. Before we get to our number 1, let's take a look at some dishonorable mentions.
Oh, Duke, be careful out there. We'll see you at the party after the show, Kay.
Number 1, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic, come back to me.
This feels a bit like beating a dead horse, or rather Hedgehog. No one can seem to agree on when the series started to decline. Was it when they armed Shadow with a gun? Was it Princess Elise? The Werehog? It's painful to see such a huge icon fall from grace and then keep falling.
And I wish to talk to Sonic once again.
Sometimes there's a glimmer of hope, but then something goes wrong and we're back to clinging to the Genesis days, when Sonic was hot on the heels of Mario. We actually locked Sonic series at number 1 before Sonic Boom came out, and that game sunk the struggling Hedgehog to even lower depths.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm pretty sure it's a bad thing.
Honestly, it's probably for the best for Sega to put this little guy out of his misery and end this dead spin for good. Do you agree with our list?
I have no idea what you're babbling about.
Which video game franchise do you think hasn't gotten past the last game over screen?
Was it good for you, baby?
For more top 10s that haven't lost their mojo, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.